Hello, I'm Miss Jeanette, and this is part 2 of our beginning crochet series. The first thing we're going to do is make a slip knot. This is how we start our chaining rows. Many patterns start with this. So what you want to do is you want to make a loop. And if you'll notice, the long side of my loop is on top and the short side is on bottom. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the long side and I'm going to pull it up through that loop. I'm going to hold on to that part that I pulled up through. I'm going to hold on to the short side and pull them away from each other. And now I have a slip knot. Let's try that again. I'm going to make a loop with the long side on top. I'm going to pull that long side through the loop, and I'm going to pull on the part that I pulled through, and I'm going to pull on the short side away from each other. This is your slip knot, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on my hook. When you put it on your hook, you don't want it this loose. It'll just keep falling off. You don't want it too tight either. You just want to make it so that it's snug-ish. So there's a little bit of room there. I can move it up and down easily. And that's kind of where we want it, depending on the pattern. Sometimes it says to chain loosely, but we're not going to do that today. Okay, so that's my right hand. I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, you're going to do all this on the other hand, and I'm sorry I can't show you that. I'm not very coordinated on my left side for things I haven't done on that side before. So then with my left hand, I'm going to put my pinky behind the long side of the yarn and wrap it around. Then I'm going to bring my hand flat and take my pointer finger, so I've put it on top of that and wrapped it around. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to my work, which right now is just a slip knot, with my middle finger and my thumb. The reason you do this is to provide tension. If you don't provide tension, your stitches will end up uneven. So you don't have to do it this way. This is an old way of doing it that I learned when I was young, and I'm old now, and that my mom did and my grandma did. So if you discover a different way that works better for you, absolutely go with it. But this is what I'm teaching you today because this is what I know and I know works. Okay? So now what we're going to do to make a chain is we're going to put the crochet hook in front of the yarn, wrap it around. I always like to point the little hook towards where I've been, so in this case the slip knot, and pull it through. Again, put it on top of the yarn, wrap it around, pull it through. Those are chains. That's all you need to do a chain. You want to move your hand up your work as you're chaining. Again, this will help with tension. The yarn, I'm not holding it tightly, my fingers are loose, but because it's wrapped around my fingers, it's providing tension so that my stitches will be a little more even. There's more to it than that, but this is a good beginning. You'll see that if they look smaller and bigger, it's because I had different tension on those stitches. Okay, so if I pull tight, so I'm pulling tight with my finger, I'm going to end up with smaller stitches. And if I loosen it up a little bit, I'm going to have bigger stitches. See how that went from smaller to bigger? Can't tell a lot because I didn't do a big difference, but I can feel the difference. Can you? Oh, I hate it when people tell you oh, that tastes so good, or oh, that smells so good, and they could be faking it. You just don't know. But yes, this is a result of the different size along this chain is a result of different tension. Okay, so this in particular right here. The other thing is this yarn is wool, and so sometimes you're going to have some inconsistencies in the thickness of the yarn, and so sometimes that's what makes the smaller stitches. But I think this time it's just me. I just don't remember doing it quite that tightly. Oh, stop obsessing. Okay, So that is a chain. Now I've taught several people over the years how to crochet, and I've had people who just wanted to chain. They made beautiful garlands for their Christmas trees. I had one girl who made it so long she had it all around her room, a garland all around her room. It was beautiful, but that's all she was interested in, is just chaining. She didn't want to learn anymore. And sometimes when you learn something, you just want to do one thing for a while, and maybe a long while. I learned to crochet when I was pretty young, but it didn't interest me until I was in my 30s. Was when I really started crocheting a lot. So what I recommend you do is just practice chaining and practice getting a more even. See, as I didn't think about it quite so much, my chain is pretty even. Practice chaining and practice getting an even stitch so that you're not ending up like this, where it's all different sizes. It'll just make your project, whatever you choose, look a lot better if you have these even stitches. My camera's taking a minute to catch up. Let's see if that'll help. Nope, I'm sorry. Let's try this. There we go. That's better. There, nice even stitches. Okay, until next time.